¿Qué hubo, raza? Bienvenidos a Pep Talks. Welcome to Pep Talks with your host, Pep. José Fuentes también me llamo. Y bienvenidos a Pep Talks. Ahorita no le miento, raza, llevo como 3 tomas, ahorita ya 4 tomas, pero andamos al 100 con un porrito y un taco que me eché apenas. Right now I'm on my, probably I'm not gonna lie, I'm on my 4th take right now, but very excited to be here. Intrigued on what this 4th take will be of the first episode. The first episode, I wanted it to be more of a pilot introduction into the podcast. I'm going to be doing it by myself, and hopefully in the future I'll be doing more by myself as well, because I feel like it would be good for my mental, and I have a lot to say. I believe that. Like I said, this is PepTalks Podcast. I will be leading this on my own on this one. Just going to try it out. Going to see where it goes. I have had a podcast in the past with a good friend of mine, Lalo. It was called Pep Talks with Lalo. I just wanted to keep it because my name is Pep and I like to talk. But yeah, I definitely will have Lalo on the show later on in the season, and I'm hoping that he can share his side of the story. Nothing bad. I think we're very good terms, and it's just a matter of how life has been for both of us on either end. We haven't been able to connect on time-wise just because he has a lot going on, and I would want him to kind of show what he's been doing, just because, honestly, he's just been grinding and silent. He's just been going. I talk to him a good amount of times now and then, and we just try to connect as much as we can, and he always keeps me updated on what he's doing, and he's just busy as ever. So a big shout-out to him and to the community who listened to us since back then. Hopefully I can do it justice this time around and give you guys a great show. Basically, we had a show in 2019. Pep Talks with Lado is when we started it. It went well. We got enough episodes to call it a season. We stopped for just a few weeks. I think over the holidays, the New Year rolled around, which is 2020, and we started trying to plan. We probably did 2 more episodes when the pandemic started, and that kind of cut us off. We tried to do 1 more episode of a Zoom call with some of our friends who had their podcast back in the day as well, and it was good. It's really hard to connect when everybody's in a different spot. So we realized that just wasn't something feasible for us at the moment, and that's where it kind of took its seat on the back burner of the podcast in our lives. And years later, we tried to come back to it. Last year, in the beginning of 2023, we decided to give it another run at it, and it went well. We kind of got stuck on the technology side, and since we started in the beginning of the year, it's a little slow for everybody. We had time, and once we kind of rolled into spring, summer, in my industry, we roll that's when you're just the busiest, and I believe in his also picked up a lot more. So we just kind of got cut with time, and just life will work in its way, and it just felt like it wasn't the time. Right now, I've been able to kind of be on my own for a while and be a little bit more selfish with my time, and so it's been just a process of setting all of this up, kind of planning on what I'm going to be saying, who I'm going to be interviewing, what do I want to take the podcast through. A reason why I really enjoyed and want to do a podcast, I'm a big fanatic of podcasts, especially comedians podcasts. I love comedy. One of my favorites right now would be Bad Friends. I've been following their show since 21. And I think they started in 2020, so they've been at it for a while. And right now, it's one of the biggest podcasts, comedian-wise, that you could say. Theo Vaughn is also a great podcaster. He has really good, cool people coming on there. And it's just as you're listening to all of these interviews and all of these shows, not to take anything away from them. Obviously they are where they are because of how great they are. You just kind of have that mindset of like, oh, I feel like I could, have brought this onto that conversation. And I think everybody at a certain point does that, but it's just easier said than done. So I said, fuck it. Let me put my money where my mouth is, and let's try to bet on myself. This will be the first episode that I put up, and just hoping for anything good that comes my way and that I'm able to take every conversation in with respect and appreciate it as much as possible so we can give you guys a great show. Kind of a background of who I am. Jose Fuentes. I was born in Tlaquepaque, Jalisco, in Mexico. Uh, Basically, we moved to Guadalajara before my last time being in Mexico, which was when I crossed over. And I've been here since in Atlanta, Georgia. I was raised on the west side of Atlanta by Six Flags Mapleton, Georgia. Big shout out to them. I just did a short film this year uh, based on that, my hometown, and a lot of people really enjoyed it. A lot of people that I grew up with over there in Mapleton, they thought I did great at showing, even though it's super small. A lot of people call it home, and I think that's something that we all connect through MBT. Shout out to them, and that could be a great leeway into kind of bringing you guys up to speed onto what's going on in my life, if you care. Right now, it would be mostly into the business still. I have a construction business with a partner, Steven, close friend of mine. For a long time, we've been friends, and yeah, we started this about 2021, so we're going 3, maybe 4 years, because we started a little bit earlier, just working together. And for us to be at this stage, haven't given up yet. There's been a lot of times where if I have any entrepreneurs out there, y'all know that it's just very hard to kind of stay consistent with taking all of the loss. There is a lot of loss in opening up your business, especially in the beginning stages of it, and you kind of have to just get used to it and go along with it. There's been a few hiccups here and there, but nothing really that we can't overcome. And I believe that me and my partner grew up not the same way. He has a different family style, but we both kind of grew up having to just find a way to stay alive, like survive on, not that we were like hungry or starving or anything. It's just we were just born with, the cards that we were dealt, and we just had to always figure it out, and that's helped us in this stage of our lives. So that's kind of been where I've been mostly at. The photography, I've been more involved with my friend's band, Ricardo Manuel. They've taken me on the team. I've started around October being their photographer, working with Mac, one of the photographers and videographers there, RYM. Shout out to the guys, Ricardo, Emmanuel, Joseph, Gibby, Los, and Mac. Our friend Ricardo also helps us with the camera work every now and then. Great guy. And that's where it started, kind of having that creative outlet to be able to show kind of my perspective on things through photography, and now through videography. We're going to be filming a video for Amor Fati, a song that released earlier this year in March. Right now we're at 1 million streams at it. Super stoked as of today. I know as of yesterday we hit 1 million streams, and I think that's just an attest to what the hard work that they've been putting in over the years. They've been putting up with a lot of you could say critique on what their music is, but they just keep rolling with whatever they want to do. And I think that just shows that if you feel like it's the best that you can do, somebody's gonna appreciate it, and a lot of people have, especially with this song. They've stuck to it for a while, and we're excited to bring you guys something else. Hopefully the video is what we expect it to be. We've put a lot of thought. It's been months of planning. It's been finding the right casting, and now we're getting a lot of help from other content creators that are reaching out to help us, and I think that's just super appreciative from our behalf, and incredible from theirs. So that's where I'm kind of at in life right now. Those are the top 3 things. Obviously, I'm trying to better myself every day as a man, so we try to go to the gym, get a little bit of exercise, do a little bit more reading, more writing. And yeah, it's just been a lot of self-reflection over the months. I'm not gonna lie. I moved out as of last year, first time being away from home, and honestly, I feel like we were prepared for it. Me and my brother, we grew up a lot together. My sister moved out when she was a lot younger, and then obviously she's the oldest one out of all 3 of us. But yeah, my mom always taught us how to kind of take care of ourselves. Towards the end of our time being there, we learned a little bit more of like, hey, like cooking takes time, shopping takes money, takes time. we learned those responsibilities. You learned a little bit of washing after yourself, cleaning up after yourself, and paying for certain things over time. We started helping with rent, so it's just more of I'm ready to go. I'm ready to kind of. It wasn't anything bad on my parents. I think we've even grown closer just because, well, so many years together. You kind of take it for granted that you're always gonna come home, and then the day that you don't, it's just it hits you pretty hard. Um, but yeah, there's just been a lot of getting out of my comfort zone on a lot of things. This is one of them. I've never sat in front of a camera and just talked to myself. I talk to myself a lot now, and I've realized that it doesn't make you crazy. I feel like it's okay to talk to yourself if you're saying some real shit, you know. So hmm, I thought I heard something, but yeah, basically that's where I've been at lately. And mental wise, it's just been a little bit more concentrated on what I wanted to do, and I think this is a big step to what I want to do. I wanted to keep continuing with the podcast, and I wanted to keep connecting with the community, and that's what I'm hoping for. Getting into the podcast of what it's going to be, I left it at Pep Talk just because I feel like there's just so much that we can connect to, so much we can open up to, and I don't think it's just it's gonna be about one certain topic. Everybody always asks me like, "What are you gonna talk about?" And it's just, I know it sounds super like hit and run and everything. That just to say whatever, but it really is just kind of like I have no limits to where I want to talk to somebody about what I want to talk to them, what I want to learn about them, because the world has no limits. You can learn literally anything from just listening to a certain person. You can have a great conversation with a stranger, and you just never know who's out there. Everybody's living their own lives. We get so stuck into ours and to what is our everyday, what's the norm, that if we just don't really deviate from it anymore. And that's what I kind of want to bring to people. Like there's a lot of cool, interesting people around you, and sometimes we just kind of keep to ourselves. And it's okay to, obviously, you can't be a friend to everybody. Mike Tyson said, if you're a friend to the world, you're an enemy to yourself. So I value a lot of alone time, but it's always great to connect, because if you just stick to your own, you just there's really no growth unless you're just constantly reading and is intaking new information. But why from a book or from a video where you can have this physical connection with a human? And I think a lot of us need that nowadays. Not that there's a lot of working from home, there's a lot of playing online more. We don't really see a lot of people going out. I mean, now I've seen a lot of people do more of like running communities, running clubs, maybe starting to like certain sports, and I'm glad that that's coming back into our lives, especially coming out of that pandemic. For many years, that detachment had hurt a lot of us mentally, I think, and now it's kind of all feeling like it's coming back to normal. So yeah, basically with the podcast, that's where I'm thinking of taking it. Is just as wherever it would take me, wherever it wants to. Anybody wants to come on and speak of what they've experienced, their hobbies, their interest. If we can fill it into a good conversation and make sure that it's good for the audience, I feel like I have no opposition to anything. Definitely am excited for the people that I have spoken to that are going to come on the show. I believe it's a lineup of people who just have something a little bit extra in their life. They've been working hard towards something, and I'm a big fan of watching people be great at something they've been trying so hard at. So yeah, it's gonna be an array from maybe a fashion designer, a lot of musicians, some different type of photographers that I've met, a lot of entrepreneurs, which are close friends of mine that we've grown up and even been able to help each other in our trades, networking and all of that. A lot of people that I would consider family or close, maybe some family members of mine, will be on here, and it's really just basically up to me, but also to from you guys. If you guys have any opinions of what you would want to see, if you want to see me outside of a studio and be more of like on the street, kind of like interviewing or doing more of like connecting with people, I think that would be cool too. I feel like I could do a pretty good video of just going out and talking to people. And that's basically what I would ask for help from you guys, is just giving me more questions, something that you would want to learn that I could probably talk about, something that you would want to hear from me or from some of my friends that I would be bringing on the show as well. Just a bunch of different personalities getting together and creating something, and I think that's something that's going to be very good to bring out to the public. Have you guys just more interested every week? And yeah, first episode, I think it's just the beginning. Hopefully, I'm hoping that this is a good time period right now where I can continue to grow this. I can continue to share what I want with the world. I'm hoping I can keep this into a one a week basis. If anything, just with time, I might have to reduce it to maybe a solo podcast for a few minutes, just because of the setting up, getting with everybody, connecting with that one person, and being able to set up a full hour or two of somebody's day. Sometimes can get a little tricky with me and with them. So I definitely will try to be as consistent as possible. You guys keeping me accountable would be a big help, and just feedback, whether good or bad. I mean, you got to take the good with the bad, and I would appreciate that from you guys, and we'll just see where this goes. First episode, glad I got to do it. I'm very blessed to be able to do it, and if you're watching this from an aisle of your favorite grocery store, or you just got out of the restroom, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time and consideration. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.